Yes, my brother, it's good to be here on the channel again. I know both of
Hmm.
since last what October,
October.
right? So since first October, I usually say because October hasn't lost. Since you've been here, how are you observing the this part of the continent so far?
Well, since I've been here, it's been it's been a blessing because when I first arrived in Ghana, the way that they greeted me, the way that they treated me,
Right,
rather than any other place I've been,
right.
it felt like it felt home more than any place I've ever been. It just felt home. You know what I'm saying? It
Yes.
felt home, and the best part about it is I saw a lot of people that look like me.
Most of majority of the people.
Majority of the people, and then
Yeah,
not only that, it's just I blended in so well. Most of the people spoke the language to me.
yeah. I always when we out in the street,
Right.
I hear them come up to you talking tree
Treat
or
the whole time.
Fanti or some one of the other language.
Yes.
So it's like basically you feel right at home because you
Exactly.
realize okay they recognize you as one of them.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, but just to say, I am here reasoning with my brother Kwesi. Many of you might know him as Sharif,
Yeah.
right? But we are here reasoning because this is important, and this is what we're talking about. We're talking about being here in on the continent and how we have been treated since we have arrived here. We're gonna be talking about the environment and farming, but this is just an introductory for us for you to get what is taking place.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the beauty is for me personally, like I said, you here. If you see the police, you don't have to worry. You none of those things,
That's
right?
yeah.
Because no one is really gonna do you anything. No one is gonna, you know, bother you or try to get you in any way. So I find everyone is friendly. From you come to the airport, like you said, I always admire that. From the first time I came here, it was the welcome. The welcome, everyone make you feel at home,
Exactly.
and they saying, brother, hey brother, welcome home,
Hmm.
and all of that. So, and everywhere you go now, and I was talking the other night with Jeremiah, and we were talking about how when you speak a little bit of the language
Ah,
to the brothers and sisters,
yes.
and boom, it's like this big smile just come on
Yes.
their
It's a
face.
connection. That's
You know what
one
I'm
thing.
saying? It's
Yes.
like,
It's a
these brothers or sisters are real because they're trying to communicate with
and
us.
that's the word. That's the word that you. That's the word that I like to hear. Is the actual fact that we're trying.
Hey,
And
there you
that's what
go.
they always tell me when they hear me speak tree to them.
Right.
They get excited. They get real. As their eyes brighten up, they get excited. They get big
Yes.
smiles on their face, and they want to. They want to teach you.
Absolutely.
They
You
want
see,
to teach you.
but even this brother on the farm, even this brother on the farm,
Yes.
every day, they're doing some building work, but
Mm.
every day he's teaching us different words.
Yes.
The meaning of it is like he's not afraid to teach you the
Exactly,
language.
because he knows we
And
absorb it and
e-
we accept it. That's the
exactly.
thing about it. We accept it and we try. But the fact that you try
Ah,
gives them the initiative to keep trying to help you and
exactly.
teach you. Because like I said, I know a sister that told me she's from Ghana.
Right.
She says women been here for 20 years and
Yeah.
cannot greet her at all. Can't say hello. Can't say goodbye for 20 years. So that
That,
tells you she has no interest
ah.
no interest in
So
African culture.
if we don't have an interest in learning our original tongue, the people realize that you're not interested in them.
Mm,
So why should they really even sit down and talk with you? Because the fact is now you they don't know where to go with you.
exactly.
So but when you start to blend in, then they
Mm,
say, yes, this brother here is or this sister is about something.
exactly.
And that's the wonderful thing that I feel joy about being here.
Hmm.
Yeah, so so we know we have a lot of wonderful time here. I mean, we know brothers that are really doing things here,
Yes.
and that's the
Big
important
building.
things because we come here to do things. We don't come here to sit around. We don't come here to look for a job.
Right.
We come here to do something, and that is what is important,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
But let me ask you something now. and the way of farming here and agriculture, what is the difference you're seeing here, and what do you see here going on in Ghana that disturb you?
Well, to be honest with you, the most disappointing thing I've seen is the amount of chemicals that these farmers are using. I mean, it's to the point I don't think I've seen any large scale farm, not even large scale, just a simple maize farm, a simple cassava farm that
Right,
doesn't use any type of chemicals. It's
right,
everything they use is chemical based. Anything and it's a harsh chemicals too.
right,
It's
right,
not just like some they're not using any type of organic method in order to control weeds or anything like
right,
that. It's straight chemicals. And I think I explained to you last time. I was interested in really growing ginger here
right,
because it's a great crop and it doesn't no pests disturb it.
right,
So I was just curious to see what the ginger farming was like in Ghana.
right,
And I get online and I'm checking some of the people that's doing the ginger farming, and they're soaking the land. I mean, every square inch of the land is soaked in chemicals. And the chemicals, what they do is destroy all the grass and
hmm
broadleaf, but
hmm
at the same time, it's a nutrient that is given to the ginger
right, right,
to make the ginger grow.
hmm
So you tell me, are you consuming that chemical it's in the soil? I mean, common sense. Are we consuming that chemical that's in the soil?
Of course, you know the funny thing is people think for a moment, because like I said, we can give many examples.
Mm-hmm.
I know in Hawaii there was a big lawsuit when it comes to Roundup and things like that
Mm.
that they was using in on these farms,
Right.
because what they're doing now, they're spraying the grass instead of weeding or using people to clean, like the
Mm.
pineapple fields and all these different things. They just
Mm. They
spray.
spray
And
everything.
right, and so they develop these pineapple to be resistance to the chemical.
Mm.
So now it goes in the chemical, absorbed in the pineapple,
Mm.
right? So when you eat that pineapple, what is happening to you?
You're absorbing the chemical, of course.
Right. So the suit was about so much people around that environment was getting cancer, right?
Mm.
And the thing is that it was a big lawsuit, and they won the lawsuit actually,
Mhm.
against the Gramazone and the Roundup.
Right.
These are dangerous chemicals. I mean, look at the maize, for instance.
Right.
When we see they spray these fields, right, with the maize, you see all the grass just instantly dried up, right? And then after that, what you see, the corn is not affected by it, none at all.
It actually looks it,
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 I
it looks
mean,
it looks better than anything else. I
it,
mean, it takes on the chemical to where it's growing better than any other plant in that
in
area.
that environment
And
right
yeah,
there.
exactly, in that environment. So that's the thing. That's the thing that's so dangerous is that now the type of corn that's out there is modified to withstand chemicals. So it's modified to you can soak it with anything.
Right.
And one thing, not to skip off the subject, but this is something that we realized. We both of us realized that it's been about 4 weeks since we had a good shower of
Yes.
rain,
Yeah. Ah.
and the corn has been growing like it's been raining every day.
Green and lush.
Every day it's growing like it's 6 feet tall, like it's been going. Nobody's watering or anything.
Exactly.
It's the soil is bone dry,
Brother,
but it's growing like it's
like
been
it's
watered.
nobody. All right, no one's business. Okay, you remember last year, first year rather, someone gave me some corn
Mm,
and I planted it. Right.
right.
You remember we weren't getting rain for a little while, and what
Mhm.
happened to the corn? They were struggling,
Mhm.
right? Because these are the more of the original
Original.
seed,
Yeah, exactly.
maize. So we had to get some organic fertilizer, and we
Mhm.
put them on there. So when we put the organic fertilizer on there, we see the changes that
Exactly.
came in them,
Flourish. It
right?
start
They
to
start to flourish. They
Mhm.
start to get real green
Right.
and beautiful. But what we use as organic fertilizer did not do anything to destroy any of
Any
the
other?
weeds or
No,
anything
no,
else.
no, because the weeds actually pick up on the fertilizer as well. So you
Exactly.
have to weed out a little more because you're
Right.
feeding the weeds as well.
Exactly.
But the benefit of actually not using chemicals and going ahead and removing the weeds and letting the weeds break down into another compost, nitrogen and phosphorus, all of that is not all of that is fertilizer.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So they're doing away with the actual manual weeding, which is the best part of farming because you it's fertilizer from the land.
Exactly.
You don't have to go out for it.
You see, and that's the way our ancestors used to work.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, for me, growing up in Jamaica, I see that.
Right.
Right? They never used to spray any chemical. They go through and they weed their cornfield, whatever crop they plant, they weed the field and leave it around the roots of the plant.
Mm-hmm.
So that break down, and it also help when it's not raining a lot for moisture to hold in the ground.
Yes.
So these are also things that we are coming into again, where we have to be doing the same thing, because we find out if the ground is not moist, certain pests and all these different things is going to destroy your crops.
Exactly. Now,
Right?
and that's true. Now, one thing that we realize, and it teaches you one thing you realize when you don't mulch or have anything around your plants is your plant becomes becomes weak in a way where it cannot protect itself.
Exactly.
So that's when the pests move in. Because the pests only attack plants that are are weak and they can't protect themselves.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So now, if your plant had that type of mulch around it, had was always had some type of organic fertilizer was being fed to it,
right,
then it will flourish to where you might have some pests, but it won't damage the crop.
Exactly.
And the pests have to eat. Some of the pests have to eat too.
Right. So we're not trying to destroy these insects.
No,
really, because the insects are also part of nature. They are part of the environment.
Exactly.
So what we need to do is we need to just make sure that they're not getting all of our crops that we are planting,
Mm-hmm.
but we know they're gonna get some. So we find different things that we can use, different plants that we can also use,
like the
marigold and things like that, to
Mm-hmm.
with other like the neem mixed together and all these
Yeah.
different things,
Yes.
in order to control the pests.
Exactly.
And then we burn the fire like wood and grass and all these different things. And so what we do with that now, we use that, and we spray, and then we use the ashes and we sprinkle.
Exactly.
So when the ashes and all of that get on there now, these pests doesn't really destroy the crops that we're putting in.
Exactly.
So we are finding ways and means,
Mm-hmm.
because we realize our temple is very important, and what we put inside is going to become us.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Is either we're gonna plant things that it will make us get sick, or it will make us get stronger.
Exactly.
You see, they have a saying to say, what you put inside is either is gonna make you stronger, or it's gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
True.
basically what it comes to.
True.
So as you know, we don't eat to die. We eat to live.
Eat to live. Exactly.
Right? So that's what we're doing. And the other thing is that we're not into eating animals. We are into eating natural food,
yes,
in its natural state as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So we're not going with all these other things where people are destroying animals for food.
Right.
Our food doesn't run away from us when we are eating it.
Exactly.
Our
food doesn't have blood. Our food doesn't have a heartbeat.
Exactly.
It doesn't have emotion.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So all of the animals and everything else, we know that they are life.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what I'm saying. They move like us. They breathe like us. They have offspring just like us.
Exactly.
So why do we want to destroy them?
Mm-hmm.
And so, because, for instance, one of the things that really, over the years, when I start to really come into myself, I start to really think, because I had a problem. The problem I had was ulcer, right?
Mm.
And that thing was so bad that he actually put me in the hospital, right? Now, when I start looking, because in the hospital, they only want to give you things to kind of water down the problem, so to speak, not to cure the problem.
Not to cure it. Just
now, what I did actually, I started looking into herbal medicine. So when I started looking into herbal medicine, I remember I went to this lady, and the first thing she says when she saw my report, she says, "No more dairy product." She
First
says,
thing.
yeah, the first thing she tell me,
Wow.
no more dairy product, no cheese, no milk, no
Mm,
butter, no none of
mm.
these things. She says, because when you realize we are the only species on earth that take milk from another animal and consume it.
Right.
Think
The
about that.
only one.
You know,
The
so
only species.
the
It doesn't make
only
sense.
one, and it can't be any other milk, but it's cow's milk,
Cow's milk.
right?
And you know how many hormones are in cow's milk. You know how big a cow has to become.
You see what I'm saying?
And then you taking in those hormones. Now that's where the result of a lot of women having periods at 11, 10, 11 years old.
Ah,
It's all hormones.
exactly.
It's all hormones that's disturbing their whole system, and it's coming from mostly, like you said, the cow's milk.
Right.
Sometimes the egg. That's an ovary.
Exactly.
That's the ovary of a chicken.
Ex-
Why are we
we
eating
put
ovary?
consuming
We're
that,
consuming the ovary of a chicken. Why?
brother. I'm telling you. You know the
And
what
they tell us the milk give us strong bones. Why? Where
but
is
how?
that? How is that possible when milk induces mucus?
You see what I'm saying?
It's like who lied to us?
Brother, you know, I'm telling you, I'm
Who
telling you,
lied to us?
I'm telling you that when I sit down and I really look into these things, I observe these things,
Mm,
and I see what, you know, the amount of mucus that I used to have before
yes.
I start on my journey of
Mhm.
eating. So now I don't have that mucus. The
Mhm.
funny thing is, when you have that mucus, you're always getting sick.
You
You have a
always get
cold,
sick.
you have the flu, you have all these different things.
Mhm.
So now you move yourself away from that, and you find you're not having colds, you're not having like this mucus coming up every morning. You go to
Mhm.
wash your face and do all these different things.
Mhm.
So now you realize how important is what you eat. It is
Mhm.
very, very important what we consume.
Mhm.
And it either, as I said, make us weaker or it make us stronger.
Exactly.
The thing is that we have the greatest temple on earth. When people look at, for instance, and say about temple, and they will say, when you look at the temple, you go to Kemet and you look at the temple, and they said, what do you see written on those temples? Is man know thyself.
Mm.
Now, who is the greatest temple? The temple is you.
Exactly.
Because even those temples that they build in Kemet are anywhere on the continent, it is representing you and me.
Exactly.
So it have the windows, which these are our
Our
windows.
windows.
Like I tell
Yes.
people, these are not your eyes.
Mhm.
People say these are eyes. These are not eyes. These are your windows,
Windows. Mhm.
are your lens that you see through.
Mhm.
So when you see through the lens now, then the eye defines everything.
Exactly.
So now knowing thyself, knowing this temple, because all right, I can ask you this question. Anytime you eat something that is not good for you, how do you feel?
Immediately, my body reacts to it and it usually rejects it.
Exactly.
If it doesn't come up if it doesn't come up regurgitation, it will come out your backside
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
quickly.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is so any changes
Hmm.
when you start to eat and something is not good for you, your temple let you know right away.
Immediately.
It's just like if you put bad fuel into a car.
Mm.
The car will let you know right away because you're pushing on the gas and it's not going anywhere. You see what I'm saying? So it tell
Yeah.
you the fuel have water in it,
Mhm.
something that is not good for the vehicle. So
Exactly.
all of these things really give us something to show us that this particular temple, like I said, is the most important thing that you have here on this
Mhm.
plane.
True.
And I wish more of us didn't take it for granted. You see what
No.
I'm saying is, but these are the things that we need to realize that it's important what we put inside of here.
True.
And I find over the last, say, 20 plus years,
Mm.
the rate of cancer has just been moving rapid, rapid, rapid,
Mm.
rapid. Children having cancer, you know, all
Mm.
of these things and all kind of disease that they can't explain.
And you know, that's one thing too, because even as a child, the type of stuff that they allowed inside our neighborhoods. When you
Right.
look at the ingredients of the stuff that we ate,
Brother.
oh man, listen, high fructose corn syrup. I'm talking like that's the first ingredient in most of everything that I consumed as a child.
Yeah,
Even the chips had all types of dye and all types of milk and all. It's just everything in there to make you sick. To actually
exactly.
make you sick.
Exactly.
So it's like they working for the doctors. It's like the food companies are working for the doctors.
But they are.
Yeah, and then the food companies are working for the dentists because because they got all types of synthetic sugars that destroy your teeth.
You see what I'm saying? Even if you look into toothpaste that you use to brush your teeth.
Yeah, fluoride. You putting fluoride in your toothpaste is damaging your brain.
Brother, I'm telling you, this overall thing really does a job on us.
Yes.
And that's why I tell my people, we have to be careful of what we are consuming. You need to know your food source. So for us, it's important. We always, one thing I like with us being here, we get together and we discuss things.
Right.
And we find out about food sources and the best source and the best place to get our food from. Those are things that we are doing. And everything is taking time, really.
Exactly.
But, not just that we are talking about, but what do you see here otherwise with the environment? What do you see going on with the environment here?
Well, everything is, I realize everything is thrown, is pretty much thrown off. Is that the universe is wobbling off her axis. Because, first of all, we can get into the life source is our trees. These trees that when you study plants, when you study trees, you find that the trees take in carbon dioxide.
Yes.
Through the leaves.
Yes.
And they release oxygen. So when you put yourself in a situation where you removing a majority of the trees and not planting any.
Exactly. Yes.
Now this now that turns into a whole nother situation of environmental destruction. Now weather patterns are all out of control. You usually get rain when we're in the heart of rain season. We haven't got hardly any rain.
And everyone has been talking about that right now.
Everybody.
It is affecting farming. It's affecting everything around. Water sources being affected by these things. So what I notice here though is the rate of deforestation.
That's the problem right
now I know our ancestors did not do this kind of thing.
No.
Their environment.
No, they not to cut you off, but even when I traveled to Costa Rica,
right,
they have trees so ancient.
Ancient
teak wood, old trees, trees. And if you even trim a limb off the tree and you caught, you
will
prison.
Go to
prison time, not just jail, prison.
For a long
time.
And that's what I'm saying is here they have these ancient trees, and so I started to ask questions and investigate. Why is it that they are cutting down these trees that are hundreds, if not thousands, of years old? Now, they will let you know that when the white people came, or these European came, they tell them, about when they ask them about the trees, and they say these are trees that our ancestors want us to protect. Exactly. They said these are good trees for wood, for wood, board
even the bark.
And so what they were doing now, they start to cut these massive trees down to cut them in wood to sell for lumber. You see what I'm saying? And so what is happening also, they're cutting down all of these trees, but no one is planting any.
No one is planting any. What they say, cut down one tree, you should plant 10.
Brother, look for instance, Accra. You go through most of Accra, it's just all you see is concrete jungle like New York City.
Yep.
Right?
And that place gets hotter than hot, boy. That place is fire. It's fire. When you talking midday in Accra,
brother,
listen. If you step on the pavement barefoot, it will burn your foot. It'll take your skin off your feet.
But that's what I'm telling you. Those are the things that I noticed. And you notice the difference when you go up in the mountains.
In the mountains, exactly.
It's a elevation. Huge difference.
Yes.
In the temperature wise, because even at night you go up in the mountain and it get quite cool in some of these places. Because the rate of deforestation is not as drastic.
It's a lot lower.
But it is coming. You see what I'm saying?
It is. That's the sad part about it. But like you said, what I really noticed that was really, it was really intriguing to me because I saw, like going up into the mountains, the how cool.
Yes.
How cool, even by being by the roadside near some type of bush. How the temperature changes just being by that bush alone.
Exactly.
And then the amount of moisture, the amount of dew
Yes.
that you get from being
Mhm.
up in a higher elevation, being up near a lot of bush, being
Right.
up near trees and plants. It's a whole different environment than concrete
You know
jungle.
what I noticed about that, be honest with you. I remember one day I was riding going up into the mountains. And me and some of the guys were cycling and we're riding up into the mountains. And what I notice is, like, you see sometimes you see the smoke coming out of the tailpipes of the vehicle.
Mhm.
I find it dissipate very quickly up in the
Yes.
mountain.
Ah.
When you're down on the flatland where they cut down all of the trees, right? It stays there,
It stays in the atmosphere. That's just,
right?
yeah. It's
So
pollution.
exactly.
Strictly pollution. That's why I
So
say the trees is not taking, because that carbon dioxide is coming out the tailpipe,
right,
and the trees taking
taking it
in.
in.
So that's why you say you see it disappear very quickly, because the trees is taking it in very
Exactly.
quick. They're getting rid of it because they're
Exactly.
there.
There you
Now
go.
when they're not there, that's when we destroy our environment.
I'm telling you, my brother. You see, when you look at what these people are doing, because you see these things in America. They cut down trees at such alarming rate in
Mm.
America that they have to make laws. That's why I tell people, if you look at of these people that put us in the state that we are, to show that this is nothing but madness, they have to make laws to protect the environment from themselves.
Mm. True.
You
Yeah,
know, think
that's
of,
true.
you see what I'm
That's
saying?
true. The protective hunt, because they're doing so much damage to it. They have to, in order to make that, they have to make the law so they can't be destroyed.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
What I'm telling you, all right, for instance, in Florida, they had what they call the Florida cypress. They were cutting down the cypress at such an alarming rate
Mm.
that they had to make laws that if you cut a cypress, you will get a lot of years in prison for it.
Mm.
So why is it that I should have to make a law instead of to use my brain and say, you know what, if I cut down all these trees, what is going to happen?
Exactly.
And I'm not planting any.
Any. So you're not thinking about any type of future. When do your kids come up? What are your kids going to rely on oxygen? How are your kids going to get oxygen if you don't have any trees for them?
But you see,
Firewood, fruits. We and then just with the thing with the fruits. We love our fruits. We love our
right,
mango. So
right,
right here in our junction, if the mango farm that we pass through every time,
right.
they cut down the mango tree in full bearer.
Exactly,
Mangoes full. The mangoes full up on the tree.
brother. I look at those things and I'm telling you, even the Aki, right? Aki is something, I mean, it's plenty here.
Mm-hmm.
But they just sometimes with the Akis on the tree, they just cut them
Mm-hmm.
off and drop them on the ground
Mm-hmm.
because they don't eat it.
They don't eat it, so they don't
So
care
it
for it.
doesn't really mean anything to them. But I'm just showing you what we are dealing with in this environment,
Mm-hmm.
that they really don't sit back and think that for future generation we have to plant trees. We cut down, as you say, one tree, we plant 5 or 10,
Mm-hmm.
because the thing is, now you want to maintain that, you want to keep fresh clean air, you want a fresh clean environment.
True.
So for people just building and building and not building without any thinking to say, I need to leave some trees. I need to make space to plant more trees,
Mm-hmm.
that I can save my environment, that I can breathe free, clean, fresh air
Exactly.
in my lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things that I see that really doesn't make sense that is being done.
Right.
And so we have to come now and help the young brothers and sisters to see
Mm-hmm.
what they need to do to change the course that they are on,
Exactly.
because they are on a crash course, so to speak, that is going to nowhere but destruction.
True.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, if we forward to our ancestors' ways of thinking, and we studied how they used to treat the environment, they knew also when rain is going to fall.
Yeah.
Even now, right? What I notice in the atmosphere, and I know that you notice it too, that sometimes, I mean, the cloud gets so dark, like it's going to rain, like
And you can
lightning and
usually
thunder.
call it. You can usually call it and say,
Exactly.
okay, this rain is coming.
But what do you observe happening now?
Okay, now what we see now is we see the formation of clouds, which looks like rain. Even sometimes you might even hear a little thunder.
Right.
But sooner or later, it will just clear up like you didn't see anything. It just vanished. It will vanish,
and the sun will come
and the
out
sun
as
will come
bright
out, and
as ever.
then it's hotter. Then the atmosphere gets hotter. Like what? That's what I'm saying. That when I say that universe is wobbling off her axis, we have done so much damage to them, to our environment, to where, like you said, like I said, I talked to a older brethren the other day.
Yeah.
He did a lot of farming up in the mountains. And he said, in the 15th of May is when everybody should. Usually, everybody had all their stuff planted for for the rainy season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said that usually was the date. 15th of May, you should have everything planted.
Right.
Now, the people that did that relies on rain-fed irrigation, they lost a lot of crops.
Of course, you have to,
because we didn't get any rain in May.
Exactly, no rain in May.
So listen, so that's what I'm saying. So now we're in a situation where we have to adapt to the crash course that they put us on.
Yes,
we have to adapt to it because we don't know when the rain will come. We don't know when it'll come. We have to hope that it does come, and when it does come, the best thing for us to do is conserve as much as we can.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Catch the water. That's why when I was in Florida, I used to catch as much rainwater as I can, and I irrigated my plants with that rainwater.
Right, because the rainwater have a lot of nutrients that the plants need. You can water all you want, right? With whatever water you get. And if you have like a well, you can do a lot. But it's still not enough as when the rain come down.
Exactly.
Because that nutrient, the nitrate and all the mineral that is in there make your plants green and lush, right? And keep the earth moist, right? And so all of these things we have to do. But like I said, we are finding ways that we have to work around those things, because the fact is now we have no choice at this point,
right?
In the sense where we have to try to save our environment. And as I said, it's a re-education program that we are dealing with, because we have to move our people's mind from being on that crash course, because he also, what he's doing right now is putting people out of work. Because when you used to hire some guys to come and clean the land just like they used to, now you hire a guy with a spray bottle.
That's one laborer,
right? One laborer, and he will go through there, a big cornfield, couple of acres, and he will spray it out in a day or two, right? And then everything just dry up, except the corn and all these different things.
Yeah, and they're just taking in the chemicals. So.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So now is where we have to really put forth this great effort, and we have to let people see, because we have to be a part of it. People, when we plan things, we can bring people there to show them, so look, this is what we are doing. This is how we are doing it. Yes, it might not be in yield as much as those people that are planting with all of these chemicals. But we are getting the right food that our temple need, that we can continue to vibrate on a very high level.
And that goes into like the lady at the market when she say quality more than quantity.
Exactly.
You want quality food more than you want the quantity. Most farmers, they want the quantity because they want mass production.
Right.
They want a lot of whatever they're growing, which is what you want when you're farming. But at the same time, when you're doing it in an organic way, you won't you won't get that type of yield that you get from a chemical. That's obvious.
Right. Because you see, everything become about money.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly. And if you're out there farming and you're not making this big, huge money, and even say for organic product, the price that you have to pay for it.
Exactly.
Right now, I mean, anywhere you go and they say something is organic, I mean, or is naturally grown.
It's like it's gold.
I don't even like this word organic. I like naturally grown things.
Yes.
It's like buying gold, buying diamond. That's the kind of money that you got when you go to the market. Anytime you see that, that's the kind of thing that you have to do. So now we have to make it that people can afford to buy it.
Exactly. True.
You see what I'm saying? Is
True.
those are the things that we have to do. So if we want our people to truly benefit from these things that we're talking about, then therefore we're gonna have to come forward with the ways and means that they are able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
see? So yeah, for me that is important. But it's just these things are just we're gonna continue to talk about all these different subjects that affect our people because farming is very essential to our living.
True.
A lot of people don't get that. I think that farmers should be the most paid people in society because the fact is that if you have farmers that are farming and planting natural products, you don't need no doctors, you don't need any of these things, you don't need no hospital because these things will be out of commission.
Yes.
You see what
True.
I'm saying is if you go really and study the farming industry in the so-called westernized world, you will see how they develop up where they tie everything together. As you mentioned before, they tie in the doctors are involved with the farmers and all of these things. When you talk about the
Mm-hmm.
FDA is not for the people as people believe
Mm-hmm.
because they believe they don't know. The FDA is not. The FDA is representing the farmers, the pharmaceutical companies, and government. They're not
Right.
representing the people.
Exactly. Not
You see
about
what
the
I'm
people.
saying is so whatever they know. For instance, when they make medicine, they can tell you that the medicine is going to kill several thousand people. They don't care about that because you're just casualty of their war.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so those are the things that we have to strive to avoid, and we have to develop within our people to let them know your food is your fuel.
Yes.
And if you don't take in the right fuel in this expensive vehicle that you are in, I call it an expensive vehicle because it is. It is the
Mm-hmm.
vehicle that propel you and carry you to wherever you
Yeah, we
want to
need to
go.
go. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying is.
True.
So you can tell me a car is no. You are the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You just make a car to help you to get where you're going faster.
Exactly.
But this vehicle here, if it's not in the car can't
Got
go
to go.
nowhere.
Exactly.
So this is the vehicle that need to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And
First.
most of us, the only time we think about taking care of this vehicle is when we
When
end
we
up in one of
say,
those
yeah.
hospitals that
When
they
we
have
get
for
sick.
us.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we have to think, we have to reason, and we have to help our own self to come off the track that they put us on, to come off this crash course to destruction,
Mm-hmm.
and come to a place where we can say, you know what, my food is destroying me.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do to save
To save
myself?
myself. Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's
Mm-hmm.
about self again. Everything that we deal with is self first.
Mm-hmm.
I have to save myself before I can help to save you.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying is if two drowning men and sure with me, for him to hold on to mentality you have to save yourself first
Yeah.
before you can help to save anyone. So that's
True.
why we have to clean up our thoughts. We have to clean up our way of thinking, and we have to clean up especially our way of eating because whatever we eat becomes us.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying
True.
is, and that's what like I tell people all the time, we read books. This is become as food to your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful what you read, just as you be careful what you eat.
Eat. Mm-hmm.
Always have a great attitude towards your environment. I don't say environment, you,
Exactly.
and to protect the next generation that is coming after you. So that is why it's important for us to see these things and to reason and to think, not just for today, but to think for the
Mm-hmm.
future. What is coming down the road, our children and all these different things that are coming
Mm-hmm.
down the road. That's what we want to make sure that we are protecting the environment for.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So you can add whatever you want to add to that.
I
You
mean,
know,
as far as I like you said, it's we are the pioneers of this age of farming. We the pioneers of it. We the ones that have to change the ways of the old ways of how things were put in place because it's obviously not working. We see it's not working.
exactly.
We see it in our family. We see the high rate of diabetes and heart attacks and strokes. A lot of people I know, they know that it's coming from the food that they eat, but they have so much parasites within them to where
Ah,
it just draws them back, more and more and more to what was destroying them. So a lot of people see that, as I'm coming up, most of my family from the South, they eat all types of garbage, but they see that I'm changing the way I eat. And they say, "Hey, man, you look like, your skin's clearing up. You look like
Hmm.
looking a lot healthier. And
Yeah,
this, you're not
yeah,
hardly ever sick. And I'm trying to show them example. I have to be example.
exactly.
I have to be example, and I have to break a generational curse. That's the thing about it. We have generational curse within our family that's been brought in. We've been brought into it.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
I see as a young man that the ways they were living were not right.
Exactly.
It was not right. So
Yes,
now I'm coming in a whole different method with, like you said, the organic farming, the plant based eating, and I can feel the difference. I can feel the difference.
yes,
Like you said, when you used to consume a lot of dairy, my big thing was ice cream. Now
yes.
I used to love ice cream, but all the time I realized, and I knew. See, when you know better, you do better.
Ah,
Because I started to realize every time I consume this ice cream, I cannot breathe out of my nostrils.
there you go.
I had so much mucus within
Yeah,
myself
yeah,
that I can hardly
yeah,
breathe.
brother.
And it
I-
was
I'm,
always after I ate
I'm telling,
it.
I'm telling you, because that was also one of my things.
Mm.
I, you know, I used to have seizures